What's up, beautiful people? Coming back at you. And today I want to give you guys a couple shortcuts for getting some really awesome, badass VAs. We're going to talk about like 2 mistakes that I see people make pretty religiously. I've got my Heidi running around the background. We are still hanging out next to some beach volleyball in Germany. That's my little girl in the bottom right. Heidi. So let's talk about why most people don't get VAs that are awesome and kick ass. In fact, usually what ends up happening is you hire somebody and then you got to go through and almost clean up the mess behind them. There's nothing worse than hiring somebody to make your life easier, only to find out that they actually make your life harder. So I learned this the hard way. I'll tell you, the first mistake I see people make with getting really, really awesome VAs is assuming that the person is going to show up already knowledgeable, talented, with all the skills you need, and they'll just know what to do. And there's a free software out there, by the way, called Loom. I would recommend you get it. And one of the simplest things you can do is think about in your agency. Heidi B and I are coming up. Papa's got your hand. You're going to fall. Oh my God. Take Papa's hand. And what you can do with Loom is record yourself doing something. And one of the things that'll happen is when you start to record your processes and how you think and make decisions, you'll start to develop the ability to clone yourself, which is a very, very key principle in getting good VAs. In the beginning, what I found is I had a lot of hit and miss VAs, a lot more miss than hit, and I assumed the problem was them. They're just not good. I found the wrong person. There's more bad people out there than good. I'll tell you, an amazing thing happened when I started documenting my processes step by step, so that, as I call it, McDonaldizing it. So pretty much any dumbass monkey, for lack of a better term, could do it. And when I set it up so any dumbass monkey could do it, what we found is that way more dumbass monkeys that I thought in my mind turned out to be smartass monkeys and be very good at it. And one of the things is that we falsely conclude that there's good talent and bad talent, but I'll tell you, there's good systems and good processes that produce that talent far more often than there is just good talent alone. And that doesn't mean you won't ever come across like a whiz Facebook ads person or somebody who just really is awesome at SEO, but more often than not, they're going to be good because you train them to be good. So I'll tell you, the secret skill here is communication. You want to make sure that you guys both understand each other in the same language. So I always test my VAs more than anything for English skill set. Heidi, let's go this way. We're going to go see Mommy and Zelda. Come. Second big mistake, and I see this just as bad, is people doing too much custom work. And what custom work looks like is you get somebody calls you up and says, hey, a plumber calls you up, says you can do SEO, and you say, yep, I can. And you have an SEO contract. And then somebody calls you up and says, hey, can you write copy for my new website? And you say, yep. And then somebody says, hey, do you do web design for cleaning companies? And you say, yep. And then somebody calls you up and says, do you do Facebook ads for e-commerce? And you say, yep. Before you know it, you got like 6-7 clients, but you're doing something different for everybody. And doing something different for everybody, custom, as I call it, does not scale well. Unless you got huge margins in the game to bring on really top smart talent. Probably going to fail with that. And a lot of people get into the trap where they get between 5 and 10 clients, and then all of a sudden their agency gets incredibly hard because they're working all the time and they want to grow it and make more money, but feels like there's like a glass ceiling on the income. And that comes out of too much custom work. So, especially in the beginning, it's hard to do, but I would much rather you be really good at one thing in your agency. It'll be far, far more scalable when you do it that way. So, let me tell you really quickly about one of the positive things you can do that will make hiring VAs go so much more smoothly. And this is... Oh, honey, come here. Oh, honey. Oh. You fell down and hurt yourself. Come on, it's okay. Alright, we're going to do this in 2 parts. Alright, we had a little ow-ow, so part 2. So one thing I want to tell you guys, the magic of the trial assignment. I learned this from a very wise marketer named Perry Marshall. And he said, you know, if you were going to start or to work with a new band, musicians, you wouldn't say, here's my resume and here's how long I've been playing my instrument. You'd actually just make a song together and play together and see how well you mesh. And you would learn far more from an audition than you would learn from any amount of... Oh, Heidi, you're getting heavy. Whew. It's a workout. You would learn far more from that audition than you would from any amount of resumes and here's my work set or skill set and here's my experience. And I am a big believer in the trial assignment. One thing that I learned is this is a big shortcut. So you can actually give the same trial assignment to like 20 people at once and be left with like 2 to 3 really good ones at the end. And when you do the magic of the trial assignment, you get to see how you make music together. And that's a far more telling experience. And I'll tell you, one of the hardest things to do is to fire people. Remember, I had a guy on my staff, the Philippines, named Rafael. He was never really my best employee, but I always kind of got like a sob story. He said, my mom's sick with cancer and I'm doing this work to pay for her meds, so I never really wanted to fire him. I just kind of felt kind of bad about that. And I ended up firing him because he spent 2 work days in a row watching cartoon porn. Let's go this way, Heidi. We're going to get a drink. Come. Heidi, look, Bluma. Some flowers for you guys. So you can save yourself a lot of headaches by, instead of just giving a virtual assistant based on a resume and a convincing interview a whole bunch of work to then find out they make your life harder, but instead give them like a really clear video of here's what you're going to do. Say, let's do a trial assignment together. And what you'll find, I'm doing this right now, I just hired 3 new people this week, and every single one of them has worked out, which was not my experience in the beginning. So I wanted to give you guys that big shortcut because you'll save yourself so many headaches. Heidi, you feeling better now? I think Heidi's good again. All right. By the way, soon we'll be doing this in Mexico.